Welcome to the deadline. Let's get started with the basics. This is the deadline's main view. What you can see here is the core of it, the to-do list. Here you can write new to-dos, share them with other people, see what's up next, and most importantly, never lose track of the whole. As an easy example, I'm going to write a to-do. I click on Create a new to-do and can stop typing right away. I want this first to-do to remind myself to fix the garden door until next week, therefore I type fix the garden door. To make this to-do easier to find later on, I add some hashtags. #private and #garden. You probably know hashtags from Twitter. I just thought up some words that categorize my to-do and wrote them right into it, preceded with a hash. Think of them as labels. We'll examine what they are good for later on. Okay, I'm done with the text. Lastly, I used the small calendar to assign a due date. That's the date and time when the to-do has to be done at the latest. You see, to-dos are different from normal calendar entries, as they're meant to be done until and not at some specific date and time. And that's it. I click on Create To-Do and off it goes right onto my to-do list. Let's check this out. Here's my to-do list, and one of these should be my new to-do. Yes, there it is. Let's take a look. There's an avatar picture next to the to-do's text showing the to-do's responsible. That's me. I have to make sure it gets done. As I created this to-do for myself only, this is no surprise. But things are different if I share a to-do with other people. Let's try that. I create another to-do. This time, let's assume that two of my buddies and I are invited to a party in 4 weeks and we want to get a present for the host. The task is simple: get a present for Mike's party. But how to make sure my buddies Frank and Steve are going to see this to-do? That's easy, by using another kind of tag, user tags. All I need to know are my buddies' email addresses to do this. At frank@example.com and at steve@example.com. I just wrote down their email addresses, each preceded with an additional @ and that way the deadline knows that I want to share this to-do with them. They don't even have to be users of the deadline yet. If their email addresses don't belong to existing user accounts, they will receive email invitations to join. To be thorough, I add some hashtags too. #private and #party. And lastly, the due date will be the party in 4 weeks. So, once more I click Create To-Do, and this time this to-do will not only appear on my to-do list, but also on that of Frank and Steve, thanks to the user tags. Okay, let's check my to-do list one more time. Where is my new to-do? It's not listed here, and that's for a reason. I'm currently looking at all to-dos that are due in the next 7 days only. Here on the right are several tabs that allow me to choose which to-dos I want to get listed. And as you can see, 7 days is selected. Since my new to-do is due not until 4 weeks from now, it's not in here. So, let's switch to All Open now. That way I can see all to-dos that haven't been completed yet, regardless of their due dates. And there's my new to-do. Let's take a look at it. This time the person responsible for this to-do is not me, it's Frank. Why? Because I used his user tag in it. And then why isn't Steve responsible as well? Because every to-do has only one responsible. Therefore the first user tag in the to-do appoints the to-do's responsible. So what's all this responsibility about? It's a way to make sure someone really cares for a to-do. As the to-do's responsible, Frank will be reminded of the to-do. The nearer the due date draws, the more frequently. That doesn't mean that Frank is the one who actually has to complete the to-do. Steve or I could do this as well, but Frank is the one who will make sure that one of us will do. As I am the to-do's creator, I will receive reminders as well. Additionally, all of us receive messages what happens to the to-do, like someone edits or completes it. Of course, apart from the 3 of us, no one is able to see this to-do. Okay, that's it for now. Let's see what happens. 1 week later, I want to check out my to-do list. And behold, I've got a message. I want to see that. Steve has edited our mutual to-do. Let's see what exactly he changed. He proposes to buy a book. Okay, I read this. Now that I think of it, I remember Mike, the party's host, telling me about a specific book he'd like to own. To share this hint with my buddies, I'm going to edit our to-do now. But how do I find it among all my others? That's easy, by using the filters up here. All tags that are found in my to-dos get listed here. That's where those hashtags I used become important. One of my personal tagging rules is to supply all to-dos that are not related to my work or projects with the hashtag private. I am very thorough about that. Therefore, I can be sure now that the to-do I'm searching for contains it. So I click on that tag in my tag cloud, and my to-do list gets filtered to only show to-dos that contain this tag. What's even better, the tag cloud got reduced as well. Only the tags that appear in the remaining to-dos are in there now. One of these is Frank's user tag. Let me add that to the filter as well, causing my to-do list to show only to-dos that Frank is involved in and that contain the hashtag private. And that's enough to find it. Here's our to-do. I could have added the hashtag party or Steve's user tag to the filter as well, but it just wasn't necessary. As you see, filtering is a powerful tool if you're tagging thoroughly. I was going to edit this to-do. I click here and can change the to-do's text to my liking. I insert a link to the book in an online shop. Naturally, Frank and Steve get a message about the change. Frank will probably order the present now. There's one other thing I wanted to do. Remember the first to-do I created? I wanted to repair my garden door. Well, I did this an hour ago. So, where is this to-do? I have to reset the filter to find it by clicking here. Now I can filter anew. #private and #garden. There it is. What you are going to witness now is the most rewarding thing about to-do lists. It always fills my heart with pleasure. I'm going to complete this to-do. As you can see, the to-do is now crossed out. It will remain on my normal to-do list sometime, but will ultimately disappear from my list. If I wanted to take a look at it or even reopen it, I'd find it in the tab Completed. Okay, now you know the basics of the deadline. That's really all you need. Just start creating, sharing and managing to-dos. Good luck!